The Conjuring franchise is gearing up to release its second phase next year, with The Conjuring First Communion scheduled for release in September 2027.
I'm sorry, can you turn this off?
Or just throw the TV out.
There's also The Revenge of Yarla which is also coming out next year, but honestly, who the fuck cares? Like, who even asked for this movie anyway?
Ew! I don't want to see that.
Now, the first phase of the Conjuring series focused on three crucial ingredients: the Warrens, Annabelle, and the Nun.
Who gives a shit?
In this spoiler-filled review, BP, Coop, and I are going to focus on Annabelle and the Nun. So get your crucifixes and say your prayers. It's time to revisit these Conjuring spin-offs. Welcome back to the Complete Guide to Horror. If you're new here, thank you very much for watching, you get a hello. And if you're an existing subscriber, thank you very much, you get an extra hello.
Hello!
A few years ago, we recorded an episode of the podcast, but kept delaying its release.
Who cares?
The episode in question focused on pitting together Annabelle, the creepy doll that was first featured in 2013's The Conjuring, against the Nun, or the Lack, who was introduced in the sequel, The Conjuring 2, released in 2016. Now, both of these characters received their own spin-off films, and they're widely regarded as just less impressive compared to the main Conjuring franchise, so we pitted them together. So without further ado, here is the episode in full.
Annabelle made so much money at the box office, so the filmmakers did not give a shit about this movie. The story is fucking stupid, scares, non-existent, and what's even worse is, I remember watching Annabelle and being like, wow, what a great movie! Which is absolute bullshit. Because every time I've rewatched this movie, and I think I've rewatched it twice, I hate it more and more. The biggest disappointment in the Conjuring franchise. I hate it. Anyway, enough about my brand. The Nun, on the other hand, look, same principle as Annabelle, just wasn't scary. I do appreciate they were trying to do a different story set in a different century, all that jazz. I just don't fucking care, which is disappointing because Bonnie Aarons, who is also one of my favorite character actresses and also was in Mulholland Drive, my favorite movie of all time, she does do her best, but she's just given such a shit script. So those are my overall thoughts. Coop, what did you think about Annabelle and the Nun?
Annabelle was shit. The Nun was shit, but slightly less shit, I thought.
Her interview was shit. Her look was shit. Her book cover was shit. Her trying to launch and sell her book to the judges was shit. She's shit.
I'm not a fan of The Conjuring, so it wasn't really a good spot for me to jump off from anyway. But yeah, Annabelle...
Not this.
Yeah, I was literally falling asleep in some parts of it. Like, it just wasn't really grabbing me. Annabelle's not scary because Annabelle doesn't do anything. It's just a cursed object, but it's not even really done in a way where it's really particularly unnerving. Something that I feel like The Conjuring, this, and The Nun is so fucking reliant on is not jump scares. I call them volume scares.
Yes.
Where it's just shit just gets really loud, but it's not even particularly scary or anything like that. And it's just such a cheap attempt at suspense.
Come with something new. Do something fucking different.
Didn't particularly enjoy either of these movies.
Agreed. BP, what are your thoughts?
You know my thoughts are. Just because someone says you should do something doesn't mean you should. And that applies to these spin-offs. Annabelle's dog shit.
It's just not good.
It's just a cash grab. There's very little to like about it. And just because it makes a lot of money doesn't mean it's a good film. And this is the point in case. It's just, as Coop said, is like jump scares are non-existent. The doll merely just sits there the whole time. A lot of the effects I found in this film also were done off screen or before the camera even focused on it. So it just lacked that factor that someone's turning a dial and they're already turned on. So it's just very lazy filming at that stage. The Nun, I think, is slightly better, but it's still shit. And it just kind of pissed me off that, you know, they had two chances to do a good spin-off to the Conjuring franchise and they haven't done a good job in either. Yes, it's a bit frustrating, but you know, I wouldn't care if these films didn't exist. I don't think anyone would care if these films didn't exist because they're that shit.
Girl, take it easy.
Did anyone even ask for a sequel? And yeah, we've got 2 sequels for Annabelle. One of them is really good.
Yeah.
The Nun, controversial. I do like The Nun too, but for different reasons.
What was the reason? What was the reason? What was the reason?
Favorite parts of these movies? I don't have any. My favorite parts are the sequels because Annabelle Creation is such a superior horror movie sequel in every way. Everything from the casting to the story to like the location, the scares, everything. And it's because it was a different director. Likewise for The Nun 2, also a different director, but controversially, this director was the one who did Curse of Yala Llorona, The Conjuring 3, and those movies are fucking shithouse. And somehow, third time was the charm. Because The Nun 2 was actually a really decent horror movie. Is it the best? No. Is it worthy of acclaim? Not really, but it's still a huge improvement over The Nun 1. The same way Annabelle Creation was an improvement over the first one.
Your tone seems very pointed right now.
Coop, did you have any favorite parts at all about either of these movies?
Annabelle, the credits. The Nun, Bonnie Aarons wasn't in it enough. Like the few parts that she was in it, she looks fucking sick. Looked really cool, I thought. But yeah, just hard, not really in it because there was all the, there was the faceless nuns, and then there were all the other little versions of the nuns, and they were like kind of like whatever.
They're ugly.
BP, do you have any favorite parts of either movie?
Yeah, even though Annabelle was pretty shitty, there's still a couple good things I liked. I really talked about it again. Really liked the chemistry for the husband and the wife. I thought that was really good, and they were, I guess, a little bit of the saving grace. They were sort of pushing the film forward a little bit. Not really saving much though, but I thought their roles were really good as sort of husband and wife, and her being pregnant. Actually, did scare in one scene, and it's one scene from the when I watched it the first time, which is when the woman who becomes Annabelle runs from the other room and runs at the camera, runs at the woman, and it's like the stomping of the wooden floors. It actually scared the shit out of me. I knew what was going to happen, but I'm pretty sure that it scared me the first time as well. So that actually scared the shit out of me. And I did like the scene when the mum goes down to, I think, to put something in the locker or in the the storage area, and then goes back into the elevator, doors open back up, hasn't gone anywhere, shuts again, doors open back up, hasn't gone anywhere, doors, it keeps doing it. It reminded me of Grave Encounters. Yeah. When they think they leave the whole asylum, and then that was kind of cool, and that was a bit creepy because I didn't know what actually was going to happen. So I thought that was like good filming there. And the staircase scene that follows after that was actually really well done for Annabelle. But yeah, and I mean the score to Annabelle was like good. I presume it's the same composer from The Conjuring. So I mean the score in some areas was really good with the music and the effects. But yeah, that's it. And then with The Nun, I like the atmosphere and like the setting and the background of The Nun and where it was sort of shot. I thought that was pretty cool, and like the props and that looked pretty like decent and not cheap and sort of like second grade or whatnot. I liked the shot of the nun. The effectiveness of the nun was good at the start when it was only once the nun was shown, but talking the bad bits later on when it keeps becoming like obvious that it's not effective. And so there's the scene where she's sort of coming forward and the candles are getting blown out, and then there was that scene where when they're in the church and you can see the nun coming down the wall, but it's like the shadow and it's sort of coming down. I like that as well. I thought that was really well done.
I feel very attacked.
Relax.
In terms of least favorite parts for Annabelle, everything.
I don't care. You're irritating.
The Nun, on the other hand, my main problem was more so just how boring it was. And also the story. I get that it's more like Christian, Catholic, etc. But I just think the whole thing with the whole like, we'll use the blood of Christ. My first thought is always, how did they have a vial that lasted that long? Like, how did it not get smashed or whatever? It's like those little nitpicky things. But at the same time, like, I just feel it committed the cardinal sin of just not being very entertaining. I remember being at the movies watching this and being like, is this movie fucking over yet? And then rewatching it a couple of nights ago thinking, is this movie fucking over yet? And I mean, it's one of those things where I do compare it to the sequels and I think, well, that's disappointing. That's what they chose to launch this franchise. It should have been like, if you're going to do a sequel, obviously make it better than the original, but have the original actually be good in the first place. Yeah. Imagine if Scream was a piece of shit and then Scream 2 comes out. It's like, whoa, this is way better than Scream 1. Like, not in a million years, but that's all I'm going to say. If I have to be very nitpicky with Annabelle, though, I will say the actual character of Annabelle is just pathetic. Like, a doll, but it's haunted by a demon, but it's also a woman who's possessed by a demon, but not really. Like, too much all at once, but also still boring as fuck as well. What about yourself, Coop?
I mean, Annabelle was not good, and I like that we sort of touched on the hype of that movie. And I was actually thinking it while I was watching it, and I was like, I guess it kind of didn't really matter what the movie was because people were just going to go and buy tickets to see it just because of the hype of it. Just nuts looking back on it now. I mean, it got a box office of $257.6 million against a $6.5 million budget.
Jesus,
that's fucking wild. Just from how long was the scene in The Conjuring? Like, it was just one of the cases that they sort of touched on, like, what, 30 seconds, a minute?
Like 6 minutes, I think, at most. But even then, it wasn't even relevant to The Conjuring.
Was it at the end?
It was at the start.
So at the start, when they're like introducing the Warrens and what they do and all that kind of shit. That's fucking wild. Like, $250 million profit off that. And you can kind of tell that they just threw a story together here to just try and, all right, where did it start? Okay, all right, 60s, Manson family, Satanists. Oh, come on. Like, it was just so fucking, it was lame. So I guess the movie as a whole for Annabelle, I didn't like it. The Nun, it wasn't scary. I thought it was a little bit better. There was some cool imagery throughout the movie. I liked the crosses going upside down in some of the parts was cool. But yeah, not scary at all. It was just another typical. Was that also a fucking James Wan? He wrote it in one afternoon, probably type situation.
Oh,
yeah, James
Wan. Did you see? Correct me if I'm wrong. Have you seen The Conjuring 2?
No.
So that cross scene where like it all turns upside down, that's also in The Conjuring 2 that came out 2 years.
Oh, okay.
When I saw that in the night, I'm like, here we go.
Yeah, it's already recycled.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So even that was played out by that point, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
And it was like always in the trailers for...
Because I never watched beyond... Like, I watched the first Conjuring movie, didn't think much of it, so never really watched anything else to do with The Conjuring after that.
In the title sequence, I'm pretty sure the nun has the cross upside down somewhere in it, below it or something, if you bring it up.
Oh, I think so.
I think it's upside down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, same with the posters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sits in there as a symbol, yeah.
Are you asking me a question?
This is like a definition of a cash grab at its finest, and the fact that they do 2 shit films in a row speaks, it's this lowest common denominator, scraping, bottom of the barrel. Essentially, this is what it feels like. Just the atmosphere of Annabelle is just completely off. Lack of jump scenes. I really don't get the fixation on Annabelle the doll. I don't really care for it. I don't really care about long panning, zoomed in shots of Annabelle and nothing happening from that, which happens a lot in that film. Everything, as I said earlier, everything happens off screen, like the rocking of the chair, the oven dials getting turned on were just on, and then there's just a fire. Like everything that was happening as a sequence that was meant to scare you, I was just thinking, well, ropes getting pulled or the strings getting pulled. Like, there's no originality. I mean, the doll at one point kind of levitates a little bit off the ground. I'm like, oh, okay. I just thought the strings pulling that up. What does this say? Anticlimactic ending. Yeah, just the whole thing's just garbage.
Mama, this is garbage. Right here.
Feels a bit like Scary Movie 2 in a way, how we said that got churned out within sort of 12 months or 13 months, but I feel like this got, done within 3 months of that. And it's clearly just, written fast to make some money at the box office. But I don't think they realize that it is damaging to the Conjuring franchise, as because it's sort of, for me, I said, I don't want to watch The Nun 2 because I've had a bad experience with The Nun 1.
Yeah.
And let alone Annabelle 1. So it sort of puts a bad taste in your mouth about it. So, yeah, really just both shit films.
Oh, Lord. Again. Again. Nothing new, nothing changed, same old shit. Same old fucking shit.
In terms of ratings and final thoughts, I think both of these movies are the worst of the Conjuring franchise. I still think it's important to watch them, though, so that if you have any interest in watching all the Conjuring movies or whatever, Annabelle Creation is definitely the better sequel, but also The Nun 2, look...
What do you think I'm going to say?
I think you're going to say it's stunning and you should have been in the top because it's a sensational garment. And in fact, you want to wear it yourself.
But I'm going to give Annabelle 3 out of 10 and I'm going to give The Nun 2 out of 10. And yeah, that's my thoughts. Coop, what's your verdict?
I am going to give Annabelle 2 overrated marketing ploys out of 10. I'm going to give The Nun 4 Bonnie Aaron performances out of 10.
Nice. And last but not least, BP?
Yeah, I'll give Annabelle. That was really bad, wasn't it? Yeah, 3 out of 10. And I'll give The Nun 3.5 out of 10.
Nice. So combined score, I think it works out to be 3 out of 10 for both, which some people might say we're being mean. I don't fucking care. Those movies are shit. Anyway, moving on. Thanks, BB and Coop, for joining me again today.
Thank you.
Thank you kindly.
And apologies for making you both watch these piece of shit movies. Viewers, check out our previous episodes. We've got everything from Final Destination, Saw, Hostel, you name it, we've got it. Also, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, etc., etc. Follow us on TikTok. And if you hated these movies, so did we. The end.